periodization in tennis. It's something that we've all read about, heard about, used, and I think it's very important, and it's all about how you apply it. So just, tennis as a sport, it's difficult to periodize sometimes, because whether it's junior level, collegiate level, professional level, there's always a lot going on. There's a lot of tournaments, there's a lot happening, and there's always something that you have to be almost at your best for. So it's a challenge to periodize. We don't have those big off seasons or pre-season cycles, and we don't have like Olympic sports where you've got a 4-year cycle to the next Olympics, and you can really plan out all your things and when your world championships are and all the different things you want to do. So tennis creates that different sort of a challenge. So we always start with the basic periodization, and for us with our schedules at the pro level, we have our year schedule, and we sort of plan out through that year where we're going to do our training blocks, what periods are going to be rest, because rest is also an important part of training and having an optimal performance. And then we really think about where we want to peak, and obviously we want to peak at the big events. We want to prepare to be in the best shape, be playing the best tennis possible in those events. And we sort of go back through it, and we pick certain tournaments that you might train through, where you sacrifice a little bit your sort of freshness for the matches, but you're trying to make gains that have that bigger picture view of peaking at the times that you want to peak. And we go from there. Then within that, there's something that I call mini periodization. And it's something that I feel is very, very important, and we don't always do it as well as we should. And I started to really learn this and realize this when I was traveling a lot on the junior ITF circuit. And we would talk about, or we would look at what happens after you've lost second round on a Tuesday, and the next match is Monday, the following week, and you've got those 6 days. What are you going to do with that time? Because you've now been given this. So, okay, you don't want to lose second round, but it happens, and now it's a positive. What can we do in these next 6 days that makes sense to be in a better position maybe for the next week's tournament? And for me, it was always about basically following a simple periodization cycles, but in a mini sort of way. So if we've got 6 days, we might go 2 days where we have sort of a preparation phase, a building phase. We might get in the gym and do some strength work. We might do some endurance. We might spend a lot of hours on the court, really, with a lot of volume. Then we go into the next 2 days. We might make it a pre-competition phase where we really focus a lot more on practice sets, sharpening up, maybe higher intensity, a little bit lower volume. And then the next 2 days right before playing, we might prioritize rest and recovery, so that we can actually recover from that extra work that we've done those first 2 days, and really be sort of rebuilt and recharged and fresh for the match that coming Monday. And for me, I feel like what you do in those, for example, 6 day little periods that you have like that are really important. And as you see with a lot of junior players, and also with young pros coming up on the tour, they don't always use their time as wisely as they should. And you see them, sometimes they're practicing for 4 hours the day before their match, but 4 days ago, they were messing around and they weren't doing much at all. So it's not just what you do, it's when you do it. And I found by going through this sort of mini periodization and planning the days like this, we made much more effective gains. We were able to make improvements when you are traveling for 2, 3, 4 tournaments in a row. And you would usually always come into that next tournament fresh and ready, because you'd actually gone through a little bit of a mini cycle. And so I started to realize that this was very effective, and it helped you over the months and the years to actually be maximizing your time and improving your game a lot. Not just playing tournaments, but making use of all the days in a good way. So it's something that I use even today at the top level, to always plan out the days and mini periodize everything that we're doing. And it's also something that I use in the training blocks. We don't get massively long training blocks. Pre-season might be 4 or 5 weeks if we're lucky. Sometimes we get 2-week training blocks before the clay season or before the grass, or some rest, because again, rest is an important part of training and good performance. And I've always tried to plan the days. If I've got a 30-day training block, I'm going to divide that up into sections of 7 or 10 days, 12 days if there's a priority in a certain area, and then the next section might be 7 days. And I'll go through from the physical training perspective with strength, power, speed, endurance, explosion, different areas, as well as the tennis part. I'll go through a mini periodized cycles within that 30 days as an example, so that I make sure that I can plan the training, the type of practices, the type of practice partners, and the things that we need in accordance with that, and then again prioritize rest and recovery, and just have a really well-structured, well-organized, mini periodized 2, 3 or 4 week training block. And again, I found that this is one of the best ways to get the maximum bang for your buck, and also to be able to be in a more structured and well-functioning system about your training, and about using the sudden time that becomes available after maybe an surprising loss. So for me, it's something that's been very useful, and I think that it would be really good to see more young players take advantage of using that kind of a thought process and mini periodize what they're doing.